We are going to take a moment of silence for our ancestors. Un moment de silence pour nos ancêtres. Maintenant, pour la dessalinienne, le jour de notre drapeau, le drapeau haïtien, le drapeau du 1803 à 2024, la dessalinienne. Pour le pays, pour les ancêtres, marchons unis, dans nos rangs, point de traître du sol, soyons seuls maîtres, marchons unis pour le pays, pour les ancêtres. Marchons unis pour le pays, pour les ancêtres. Merci. Bonjour l'Afrique. Bonjour Haïti. Bonjour Rwanda. Bonjour à son Excellence, Monsieur le Président Paul Kagame. Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour à tous mes frères et sœurs panafricanistes. Bravo à notre mouvement. Bravo pour notre courage. Vive le panafricanisme. Aïbobo à l'univers. Aïbobo à nos ancêtres. Vive les Nations Unies de l'Afrique. Vive la race noire. Aïbobo Haïti. Aïbobo 18 mai 1803. Aïbobo 18 mai 2024. En 220e de l'indépendance d'Haïti, en 221e de la naissance du drapeau haïtien, le bicolore bleu et rouge. Bleu pour le ciel, pour nos ancêtres, pour la race noire. Le rouge pour la terre, pour le sang et pour tous ceux qui ont sacrifié leur vie pour notre liberté. Au centre du drapeau, sur un fond carré blanc, se trouvent les armoiries d'Haïti, les armoiries d'un peuple en esclavage, les armoiries d'une race esclavagisée, un palmier entouré de divers symboles de liberté et d'indépendance. Les armoiries comprennent également un parchemin avec la devise « L'union fait la force » qui se traduit « Ensemble, nous forts ». Strength in unity. L'unité fait la force. Ce drapeau symbolise l'histoire de la nation haïtienne, l'histoire de la race noire, qui a écrasé l'armée brutale des colons français et arraché du drapeau français le blanc pour créer le bicolore bleu et rouge. Ces exploits héroïques et ces actes de courage de nos ancêtres, bien qu'ils soient méconnus dans l'histoire du monde contemporain, serviront toujours comme un héritage précieux pour les générations à venir. Il est essentiel que la communauté haïtienne et la communauté africaine et la race noire en général comprennent que l'indépendance et la libération d'Haïti en 1804 ne concernent pas seulement un pays, mais témoignent également de la fierté et de la dignité de toute une race. Cette victoire contre l'esclavage et la colonisation nous servira toujours comme un symbole d'unité dans la lutte contre l'impérialisme. L'effigie au centre du drapeau haïtien symbolise la lutte d'Haïti, la lutte d'un peuple, la lutte d'une race qui a surmonté l'esclavage pour conquérir son indépendance et sa liberté, au cours d'une révolution triomphante qui a renforcé la fierté et la dignité de la race noire, d'un esprit d'union et de solidarité. Le palmier vert au centre des armoiries symbolise l'endurance et la force d'une race dans la lutte pour se libérer du colonialisme. Les canons et les boulets de canon placés autour du palmier représentent les outils de combat utilisés par les Haïtiens dans leur lutte pour l'indépendance. Ils symbolisent le courage et la détermination du peuple haïtien et de la race noire pour défendre sa liberté à tout prix. Les drapeaux représentés autour du palmier sont les drapeaux nationaux d'Haïti, symbolisant la fierté et la souveraineté nationale. Le bonnet phrygien au sommet du palmier est un symbole de liberté et de fierté. Il signifie l'émancipation de l'esclavage et l'établissement de toute république libre. La devise « L'union fait la force » qui est affichée sur un ruban blanc souligne l'importance de l'unité et de la solidarité entre le peuple haïtien et la race noire en général. Pour surmonter les défis et maintenir son indépendance, sa liberté, sa fierté, son émancipation et sa dominance dans ce monde. Chaque élément de l'effigie travaille ensemble pour transmettre le parcours historique d'Haïti vers l'indépendance, les valeurs de liberté et d'unité, la fierté d'un peuple, d'une race, dans l'identité d'une nation, la nation haïtienne. Vive le drapeau haïtien, vive 18 mai 1803, vive la fierté de la race noire, vive Haïti, vive l'Afrique, vive le panafricanisme. Maintenant, je vais m'adresser à la force cachée, la force manipulative, la force dominante, la force qui pendant plus de 110 ans nous bascule comme des animaux, la force qui nous traite comme des sauvages, la force qui nous déshumanise, la force qui crée nous les Noirs ne sommes pas dignes d'être humains. Pour m'adresser à cette force, cette hégémonie occidentale, je vais m'exprimer en anglais. Et c'est ça qui représente notre force. Nous les Noirs, nous sommes tous des polyglottes dans ce monde. I want to first thank you all over the world for listening to this speech and all the leaders of the world. This midnight speech on the Haitian Flag Day that declares the liberation of all Black nations with the creation of the United Nations of Africa. On this 18th day of May 2024, the Haitian Flag Day, a flag that has been around for 221 years, and there are no acknowledgement of this flag in Africa. A flag that symbolizes the conquest of the Black race over the white race colonizers. No significance of such commemoration in Africa. A flag that represents the pride of all Africans. History has found a way to extinguish the flame of this pride. On this Flag Day, we come to remind Africa that this Haitian flag must be acknowledged for what it represents for the entire race. A flag that represents the pride, the freedom, and the achievement of our race on the global stage. With this reminder, we Haitians come to let the United States of America know that Haiti has fought for its freedom and for this land, that it has implanted this flag by defeating Napoleon Bonaparte and his French brutal army, just like the United States has defeated the British Army to gain its independence. However, the Haitian independence was more significant for the Americas in 1804 because with the defeat of the French army, Napoleon Bonaparte had come to the agreement to sell the Louisiana region to the United States for a mere 4 cents on a dollar per acre on April 30th, 1803. And with that purchase, the United States has doubled its size to become this hegemony it represents in the world today. With this reminder, we come to let the world know that Haiti has gained its independence by defeating the French army to create the first Black republic in the Americas, to become sovereign in a world of colonial imperialism. And this sovereignty must be respected all over the world by all nations. With this reminder, we come to let the United States know that we Haitians are aware of its refusal to acknowledge and respect the independence and the sovereignty of the first Black republic. With this reminder, we must let the United States know, just like we defeated Napoleon Bonaparte and its French brutal army with unity, any other oppressive and imperialist force can be defeated with our unity and harmony. Killing our Black leaders, you will only cut the trunk of the tree of our fight for domination. That tree will go back because its roots are deep, abundant, and strong. With that, I quote a reminder from our hero, Toussaint Louverture, who said before he died, "Overthrowing me, getting rid of me, you have only defeated the trunk of the tree of liberty. That tree will grow back because its roots are deep, abundant, and strong." With this reminder, we come to let the imperialists of the world to understand this new generation of leaders, as we are gathered here all over the world to reflect on the profound significance of the Haitian flag. We need to reach far beyond the mere commemoration of a national symbol. We need to show the world how, in solidarity and unity, this flag was created. The Haitian flag not only represents the pride of a nation, but also serves as a beacon of strength, resilience, and empowerment for an entire race on the global stage. In the heart of the Caribbean, on May 18, 1803, the Haitian flag emerged from the battle of a revolution, becoming a symbol of defiance against the chains of slavery and colonial oppression. It was on this monumental day that the enslaved Africans of Haiti, led by visionary figures like Jean-Jacques Dessalines, ripped apart the French flag, removing the white and combining the blue and the red. The blue for the sky, for our ancestors, for the Black race. The red for the earth, for the blood that shed, and for those who had sacrificed their lives for our freedom. This action was more than just a change of colors. It was a declaration of unity among the Africans and all oppressed people across the globe. A declaration that they were no longer the divided tribes imposed by colonial rule, but rather a unified force against slavery and imperialism. The creation of the Haitian flag marked the first step toward establishing the first black-led republic of African descent in the Western Hemisphere and the first successful slave revolution in modern history. This extraordinary achievement echoed worldwide, challenging the status quo and motivating oppressed people everywhere to fight for their freedom and dignity. But the significance of the Haitian flag extends far beyond its historical description. This flag stands as a testament to the resilience, the strength, and the united spirit of all Africans, or the black race for that matter. This flag symbolizes the end of racial injustices and the victory against the chains that have historically bound people of African descent in physical and systemic servitude. This Haitian flag is a reminder that liberation is possible, that unity can overcome the most hegemonic oppression. Waving the Haitian flag, we elevate an entire race. We recognize the contributions of Africans and their descendants to the diverse fabric of global culture, science, politics, and the economy. Let the Haitian flag remind us all of the power of unity and the strength of diversity among Black people. May it inspire us all to work towards a future where every Black man and woman, regardless of his origin, can live in a world of prosperity, opportunity, justice, and peace. It is said that a grown man should never act desperate. A grown man should never beg. But I come before the motherland with a desperate call for unity. I come before you, Africa, to beg for the unification of this continent. On this day of the Haitian flag, a flag that symbolizes unity, solidarity among Black people. I come to beg for the unity among all African nations. I believe Africa can unite under the United Nations of Africa. The United Nations of Africa, an organization that could stand for unity, guidance, strength, and empowerment of all Black nations across the entire globe. With the United Nations of Africa, all nations will remain sovereign. Yet every nation under the umbrella of the United Nations of Africa will be guided, supported, and defended with the strength of a united fist. This proposal to create the United Nations of Africa stands as a call for unity and awareness among all Black nations. It is time for us to wake up and recognize the challenges we face for our survival tomorrow. It has come the time that our way of life must be questioned. Why is that? Every country where the Black man governs, poverty, misery, conflicts, and social unrest have become a norm. And why is that? In countries where the white men rule, the Black men and women in that country have become the statistics of poverty, misery, or the topic of social deception. We need to question the international indices that show that Africa represents 20% of the world population, and yet 80% of the world poverty, is, is displayed where Black people lived. We need to question, why is that 80% of our resources is being exploited by a mere 20% of those that believe they have the right over our resources, our land. It is time that we question this hegemony of dominance of the white race over the black race. The time has come for the insult on the black race in the Americas, the social deception in Europe, and the poverty, the misery, the conflicts in the black countries be questioned. It is said, when something wrong becomes normal and acceptable, it has become a way of life that is conditioned to be normal and acceptable. For us not to accept the unacceptable, I urge my fellow members of the black race in the African continent to rise up, understand our past, our history, and prepare for the future. We have been the victims of historical injustices, but it is time that we acknowledge in today's world the struggle for our survival has intensified. The fight for control has become a battle for dominance. It is time for the black race to stand up for what is right and assume its place in global society. It is time for us to stop being trampled upon by other race and assert our right to dominate. It is time that black nations start to learn to exploit its own resources, turn its resources into refined products that could empower its economies. It is time for leaders of black nations to come together and believe we can overcome the imperialist coalition that have impeded our efforts to progress and strive for a better tomorrow. It is time for us to realize that those before us, our ancestors, our heroes, to name a few, François Macandal, Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Capois Lamort, Sanit Belair, Catherine Floch, Cécile Fatiman, Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière, Victoria Montou, Harriet Tubman, Charlemagne Perrault, Benoît Batraville, Shaka Zulu, Ya Asantewa, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells, Rosa Parks, Marcus Garvey, Patrice Lumumba, Nelson Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, Wangari Maathai, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Jomo Kenyatta, George Padmore, Nesta Robert Marley, and of course, Dr. Mutsoko Feko. And all those that may have not been named, we salute you. Those heroes before us who have fought for the right to be human. They have fought for the battle of equality and acceptance. They have fought for our independence and liberty. They have fought for the simple right to live in unity. Now, it is upon our generation to fight and continue to fight. We must fight the new battles in a war of existence and domination. It is time that we take the baton pass onto us and continue to fight for survival. Our new battle is the fight for the right to dominate. Throughout history, imperialism has been used as a tool of control and domination, deeply embedded in global order, following centuries of colonialism. To fight imperialism, there was a call for the black race to assume the authority and take charge of its own storytelling and its own affairs. We must transition from being the subject cause to becoming the subject matter. It is time for the black race to reshape the narrative and reclaim its position as the leading element in the documentation of history, rather than being the mere subject of historical events. And it is time for us to stop fantasizing about the unity of the motherland and create the United Nations of Africa. With that, I cite Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who said, "Unite we must, without necessarily sacrificing our sovereignties. We can forge a political union based on defense, foreign affairs, and diplomacy. We need a common citizenship, an African currency, a monetary zone, and a central bank. We must unite in order to achieve the full liberation of our continent." With that, I may add, to dominate, we must unite. To achieve the full liberation and empowerment of the black race. In order for the black race to be strong, Africa must be strong. In order for the black race to shine, Africa must shine. In order for the black race to dominate, Africa must dominate. Africa, as the motherland of the black race, the time has come when we ask, what makes the white man more superior than the black man? What makes the white race more deserving than the black race? The time has come when we ask why. For the past 3 centuries, the white race has been deciding on the fate of our lives, and it is those decisions that have destroyed and impoverished our continent or the black race in general. The time has come for us as a race to remember and understand the steps of evolution that we have had to undergo because of the color of our skin. We have come from being non-human to being a race in captivity under colonization, and from colonization to imperialization, and that is, we have obtained an independence that is controlled, financed, and dictated. In today's world, we face the fight of domination by organizations like the United Nations, the European Union, the organizations of American states. Under the influence of those organizations, the manipulative financial tactics rule and dominate over our sovereign countries. By domination, we mean the control of our politics, our finance, our health, our education, our communication, even our own existence. Therefore, the time has come for us to take matter into our own hands and dominate our countries, dominate our race, and shift the paradigm. By domination, we mean to assert the right to be human and civil, to be responsible, to respect the environment, to embrace nature, to take the life of our people more seriously, to treat our families with utmost respect, to educate our children to be dominant, to create, to invent, and to explore the entire universe as it is theirs. The time has come for us to believe in ourselves, believe in our race, to trade among ourselves, to invest in our own countries, to exploit our resources and create value-added products to enrich our countries. The time has come for us to have our own clothing line, to have our own luxury designs, to create our spatial exploration with our own scientists, to have our own satellites, to reach where no one has reached in the universe, to even explore the sun with the shield of our melanin. The time has come for the average black kid to be an engineer, a scientist, an archaeologist, a geologist, a mathematician, a physicist, a chemist, a doctor, an attorney, and of course, a philanthropist. It is time that when a young man or a young black woman is walking around and the first impression of him or her is perceived with utmost respect. Whenever he or she, or wherever he or she may be from this planet, the time has come when a black individual is standing at an airport. He or she is welcome as an investor, an explorer, as a scientist, or even as a tourist who has the purchasing power to travel, and not as an escapee of misery and poverty. The time has come for the young black generation to stop jeopardizing his life going across the oceans in the search of prosperity and the futile pursuit of happiness. The time has come for all black nations to have a society that is civil with the highest civility. The time has come for our nations to prosper and have opportunity in abundance. The time has come for the conflicts and the civil wars instigated by the blunders of the imperialists to have an accord and a peace agreement. Our people must realize that the fight for our survival as a race is the fight for us to have the conscience to live in unity and harmony, where we value our differences. The time has come for all black leaders in politics to understand that the fight for our survival as a race is not the fight to fill the pockets. It is not about your family. It is not about your political parties. It is more about the color of our skin, which represents the poverty and the misery of this planet. It is more about the fight to dominate and not the fight to enrich the colonial bank accounts. By domination, we must first act on the creation of the United Nations of Africa, the African Monetary Fund, and the Global African Bank with the Kigali Conference. For the survival of our race, the United Nations of Africa must be created. With the headquarters in Kigali, it signifies a unification that will exemplify a continent in harmony. We have chosen Kigali, Rwanda, because of the great example and inspiration of the Rwandan people that showed us in 30 years what unity and conscience can accomplish. The Rwandan people reminds us all where the seed of hatred had been planted, it could be cultivated into the fruit of love, acceptance, and unity. The Rwandan people have shown everyone throughout the globe that our values could indeed be in our differences. And by this example, we must create the United Nations of Africa, where every black nation has an organization that acts as a sanctuary in settlement, a place for justice, a bank for development, a center for scientific research, and a protective force with defense armed with nuclear weapon. With this proposal, I must quote one of the pioneers of Pan-Africanism, one of our ancestors who has given his life for our right to survive. He said, "We have been dared to be free. Let us dare to be so by ourselves and for ourselves." And therefore, I call upon all African leaders. I call upon all black leaders of the world. I call upon all the wives of the black leaders on the continent. I beg that you whisper in the ears of those leaders that the United Nations of Africa must become a reality and not a romantic fantasy. Africa must unite for the survival of our children. With that, I ask that the following nations come together under the Kigali Conference to sign on the protocol that will create the United Nations of Africa. And those nations are Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cabo Verde, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Eswatini, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Kenya, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mauritius, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Niger, Nigeria, Rwanda, Republic Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Africa, South Sudan, Sudan, Tanzania, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and of course, all nations across the continent that are members of African descent, that are African nations, and they are Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and any other black nations that decide to be a part of the United Nations of Africa. With that, I must say on this 18th day of May 2024, a day which engraves in history the 21st years of the Haitian flag, I come before all Black people of the world to plead for the creation of the United Nations of Africa. With the creation of the United Nations of Africa, all Black nations will have the support, the strength, and the power to self-govern and dominate. With the United Nations of Africa, Black nations will no longer be labeled as the poor and the undignified countries. With the United Nations of Africa, all Black nations will have the capability to exploit and turn its abundant resources into viable means to empower its people and its economies. With the United Nations of Africa, all the civil wars and the social unrest in the Black governed countries will be settled because the organization will seek the interests of the people and not the interests of the resources of the nations. It goes to say, the only reason why Haiti, on this 18th day of May 2024, after 221 years of the creation of its flag, the flag of unity and freedom, my beloved country is going through all the civil unrest, is because of the color of the skin of the Haitian people. It is because Haiti is not protected by an organization that seeks the interests of the Haitian people, but rather the interests of the resources of the country. And by that, for Haiti to rise, Africa must rise. For Haiti to prosper, Africa must prosper. For Haiti to be strong, Africa must be strong. And for Haiti to stand as a beacon of Black conquest and triumph in the Americas, Africa must be the protector of all Black conquest and triumphs. It goes to say, it is in my best interest and the interest of all Black people around the world to seek for unity under the umbrella of a United Nations of Africa. With the United Nations of Africa, Haiti will have allied itself with the motherland, the sanctions from the imperial masters, the financial abuse, the manipulated tactics, the agenda of 2104 to destroy the land and to kill all the inhabitants of the First Republic will be redirected. Haiti will be protected, supported, and defended. The country will no longer be the isolated only Black country with their geographic dimension defined by the imperialist. As Haiti stands, the only African nation in the Americas with the population of more than 12 million people and the size of Belgium that is governed by Black men with African descent. In this defiance, with the protection of the United Nations of Africa, the first Black republic in the Americas will remain in history as the symbol of triumph of the Black race over the white colonialist and imperialist. With Haiti's membership, the stigma of the Western world media as the poorest in the Western Hemisphere with all its resources will change. The manipulative force that has driven Haiti to the wound will be defeated and eradicated. Haiti will no longer be the experimental object for the imperialists to trample upon. Haiti will be protected by the motherland because the United Nations of Africa will protect its territories in the continent of Africa and across the globe. With the United Nations of Africa, the African continent becomes a force to reckon with, armed with its own financial capabilities, its own scientific researchers, and of course, its armed forces capable to defend and attack any adversaries. With that, Haiti will no longer be the orphan that is being defied to prosper and manipulated to the ruin in the Americas, because for what it stands as a symbol of the black race conquest in a world of white dominance. With that, I cite one of the founding fathers of our movement for unity, our movement for Pan-Africanism. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, and I quote, "Countrymen, the task ahead is great indeed, and heavy is the responsibility. And yet, it is a noble and glorious challenge, a challenge which calls for the courage to dream, the courage to believe, the courage to dare, the courage to do, the courage to envision, the courage to fight, the courage to work, the courage to achieve the highest excellencies and the fullest greatness of men. Dare we ask for more in life? With the creation of the United Nations of Africa, it is for us black people not to accept life just the way it is. Instead, for us to make life the way it ought to be. I thank you all for listening to this proposed creation of the United Nations of Africa on the midnight speech of the day that commemorates the Haitian flag, a flag that stands for black courage, black conquest, black power, and black success. In my book titled Haiti, the Perfect Model of a Failed State, all the information regarding the organization of the United Nations of Africa for the survival of our race is included. The book could be purchased online or at any library near you. On the information about the book, it could also be found via my website at jeanbaptisteofficial.com or any of the social media. Again, thank you. Africa must unite. The black race must emancipated. Black nations must dominate. We salute countries like Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And we say, united we stand, divided we fall.